the taxes. And secondly, what is going on? For example, I have pen in my pocket, I can throw it, but I cannot take pen from his pocket and throw it. The reason why I am quoting the example is, see, the taxpayers' money is being used for distribution of freebies by these political parties. With the result, taxes are being increased time and again. On the other hand, poverty will also increase. Taxes are more. The living rate will become more. This should not happen. In fact, once I have been interviewed with the bank about the fixed deposit scheme. I said, after the retirement, the person will keep the money in fixed deposit to see that at least something will help for his revenue.
Sorry,
what the government is doing.
Brief.
Thank you. I think this is coming under the income tax act. Better I say, request you, madam, please consider to provide the social security to the taxpayer first and to avoid freebies.
I'm Mr. Rao, Chairman, Labour Committee at KCCI. I have one street, 86,000 crores unpaid amount is there in ESA. Recently, we got the news that that amount will be used going to invest in the stock market. I don't know how safe it is. If you use it,
I don't know where you got this news from.
it has come in the paper.
Even they have come in the papers, I don't know anything about it.
But it can be used for the employees.
I don't know anything about it, is what I'm saying.
Second, can there be a more investment on the tourism, madam? Tourism is the part which is more important for every country. We have lesser investment, lesser promotion activities in tourism, madam. That is my request.
It's one major part of this year's budget.
Hello, good evening, ma'am. Hello. Good evening, ma'am. It's very nice to meet you here. Pleasure with our Health Minister Sudhakar sir. Ma'am, I like the initiatives by Narendra Modi ji from the past 15 years. We respect Bharatiya Janata Party. Ma'am, but the main concern is coming to local buses and metro. The main thing is we have pathways in our area when it's raining. It's difficult to communicate in pathways after raining. After coming to our office, it is difficult to reach home on time. So I request, we committed to BJP, BBMP also, but they didn't listen to our words. So I request you that the pathways will be removed so that we can commute easily to office. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. So unfortunately, few of the complexes in Bangalore still work under the old scheme called share scheme, which is not a freehold property, which is a really big loss for exchequer for the government. Because the one complex which I am representing is I've got almost 1,000 houses, where instead of which is not a freehold property, it's in the form of shares. So wherein the government, in case they register the entire property, each flat would fetch in a revenue of around 10 to 12 lakhs in terms of stamp duty. And on top of that, promoter still being in the loop, still he's got a lot of his antics and he's been harassing the occupants. So we are termed as a tenants rather than as a owners instead of being through our noses. This, I guess, were only few complexes in Bangalore. There probably there are a few in Mumbai too. But this is not a good scheme. Of course, not promoted by the BJP government. Maybe the previous governments have done it on an experimental basis. Can this be corrected, man? It will be really a lot of relief to the residents.
Good evening, dear Finance Minister. My name is Binu Wilson. I just have 2 points here. Point number 1: even though our country had made huge progress in digitalization, we home buyers feel that we are a minority because the Zamindar system still exists. In my apartment, the builder has mortgaged the land to a financial institution and he has done a sale deed registration. Now we are in trouble whether he's paying the interest or not, and we are not sure whether these companies will send us a notice. So I request the finance minister to get some law. I don't know, I'm just as a layman term I'm speaking. And the second point is the money laundering activities which is happening within the apartment under the cover of Karnataka Society's 1960 Act, which is not supposed to raise even maintenance, but builders and association people who have colluded with the builder is using to complete the project. And in my case, I stood up for my rights and they have disconnected my power water. I went to police station. Police did not help me. Finally, I went to the commissioner. I did not get any because it's a civil matter. Finally, I had to go to the court to get the injunction order. So these are the things happening. So I don't know. I'm just raising my request here. If you can take it up with the respective authorities. Thank you, Minister.
Good evening, madam.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Very thank you for coming over here to listen to us. There are only myself, Subramanya, a chartered accountant, is a continuous thing to be addressed and dealt with. Having worked with few chartered accountants and students, my only thought here is that the government can consider forming an entity which has a participation from major employers from diverse fields, science, commerce, and all the fields, and have the thought leaders in it, influencers, professional associations like Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association, whom I represent, and this association will conceptualize and come up with a training course which will basically help the students bridge between their education and employability. Now, also being a chartered accountant practicing, I understand I should minimum take 8 to 9 months for a BCom graduate to be trained so that he can be in a particular deliverable position. So considering this, if this gap between education and employment can be bridged, then it will be a great thing for the young students who are from the colleges and who can take it up. This is first thing. Second thing is on the financial literacy. So I'm from a smaller Chikpadapur where our Sudhakar sir is the person representing us. So basically what I see here is there is people go pray for these schemes and other things and they don't know where to invest. So for a large crowd of middle income class group who are not from a very well educated background but doing business per se, they need some financial literacy. So also consider something on creating some financial literacy and so that they don't fall prey for few schemes. I know RBI is working on various things, but yes, more to the grassroots level, there is a requirement of something to come up to help to give real benefit to these traders. Last but not the least, I'm sure everyone of here agree that when you go to a registration in a stamp, in a registrar office, we come back with a slightly bad experience for the reason that we have to sit there for 2 to 3 hours and there is something which someone has to really spend to ensure that the things go on time. So everything we are moving towards digitalization. It is certainly possible for the government to consider to start introducing technology into the registration process with things being in place, Aadhaar and biometrics and things. Probably that is something that the government should certainly consider to make it a really nice experience for, that is really something which anyone will feel for having bought a property. That is something which I would like to bring it to your notice. Thank you.
Madam, this is Ravi Shankar from, I'm a member of BVSS, Bharatiya Vidya Sadakar Committee. I have a couple of suggestions concerning